What's going on YouTube? This is Ricky J. Welcome to another video, and this one's going to be a special one because the folks at Steel City Interactive just released a new video of Esbc's updated gameplay, and I thought, why not make a video just to talk about it? So let's dive into the fine details, and I can't wait to talk about it. Here we go, baby.
Today we're going to talk about camera angles, improvement to punches, inside fighting, and more. Let's jump into it.
That's right, we're opening up with this modern classic matchup between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, who you're seeing in the ring together in Esbc for the very first time. Here you can see we've got a variety of camera angles in the works. There's a wide angle view that shows all the action for those of you who want to see as much as possible. There's a close-up view that really highlights those toe-to-toe moments and beautiful game visuals. We've even got a cinematic camera that gives you a number of perspectives to view what's happening inside the ring. We'll continue to experiment and add more cameras to offer a variety of ways to view gameplay.
All right, as far as the camera angles are concerned, man, they look great. And I'm so glad they showed us this. For me personally, when I'm in a boxing match, when I'm playing a boxing game, I really like a view where I'm not so close up to the screen, man, because I want to know what real estate I have to work with in terms of movement inside the boxing ring. So I like how they give you that option to not be so close when you are fighting. As far as the wide angle is concerned, that's what I typically would use, especially in like the UFC games, even in Fight Night Champion. But I feel like their wide angle is a little too far back. I'm hoping that you're able to customize your view a little bit. But maybe it's just something to get used to. But as a whole, all the angles look great. I love the cinematic view, but I feel like at a competitive level, maybe the cinematic view may not be the best. But if you're just messing around facing the AI, it must be such a cool experience to use that cinematic / broadcasting view. But as a whole, I really like the views. Just hope that they push in the wide angle a little bit. But let me know your thoughts on the camera angles. What would you use, man? What do you prefer when you are playing boxing games? I also want to say, I don't know if you guys caught it, but I like that over-the-top view. That over-the-top view will be nice, especially gauging your opponent's attacks, I feel, because you can really get a sense of their animations, your opponent's animations when you're in this view right here. I like that view. You don't get that in Fight Night Champion. That is pretty sweet.
When it comes to authentic boxing, another area we wanted to give attention to is fighting on the inside. As boxing fans, we appreciate those moments where fighters are right on top of each other, looking for that opportunity to throw a shot that will connect at just the right time. It's still a work in progress, but here's a glimpse of our first pass at fighting on the inside. You can see how the fighters shift stances as they get into close range combat. With our physics system coming into play, short hooks and uppercuts might land, or they could glance off an opponent, depending on your position.
You know, I have to say, when it comes to the inside fighting, it looks fantastic. And the one thing that I just want to point out, I love how in Esbc, the punches aren't over-exaggerated. If you play Fight Night Champion, sometimes when the boxers are throwing punches, it almost looks like they're throwing a fastball in baseball. In this game, you see realistic punches, and I know sometimes it may not look aesthetically pleasing, but it looks realistic. And as you see here, man, you are seeing guys fighting properly on the inside, not loading up too much. I love how they're leaning in. Do you guys notice that? How they're leaning in with their gloves and their forearms on their opponent, waiting for an opportunity to just throw a couple of quick strikes and then using their weight to kind of wear down their opponent. That's awesome, man. And I can't wait to see people, when they're playing this game online, master this style, man. It's a very aggressive style. It's a very, how should I say, nightmare style to deal with when guys are just pressing forward, and throwing big bombs inside. I think it's really cool. And I feel like they did a fantastic job already, man, with this style of boxing. Let me know in the comments.
How about this fantasy matchup between the Cobra and Sweet Hands? We're showing Carl Froch and Caleb Plant in Esbc for the first time as we talk through this next section. Fighters will tell you that where a shot lands can make a big difference, and the same is true in ESBC. There are impact areas on an opponent's face, so a glancing blow will have a reduced chance to cause serious damage, where that big shot to the temple might just be enough to bring the fight to a close.
Now, as far as the impact areas that they were talking about in this gameplay footage, I really like how they addressed that, man. They talked about the fact that you have to be very accurate when it comes to your striking. If your punches are just going to graze your opponent, if you are not in the right position, if you are not utilizing the correct timing, your punches aren't going to land flush against your opponent. But if you're able to find an opportunity, like they said in the video, to land that flush shot, to strike that temple while you have your feet planted, you really are going to have an opportunity to stop the fight. So I love that, because if you're simply button mashing or just throwing wild punches, your punches aren't really going to land, man. They're not really going to land. Some of them you may have that Hail Mary strike that will finish the fight, but in most cases they won't. So you got to be so calculated, read your opponent, and know when to strike at the opportune time.
If you want to have a great boxing game, the punches have to both look and feel right. That's something we believe, and that's something we hear often from you as well. That's why we'll work on and polish punches until we're satisfied they meet our standard. In a previous update, we showed off our 36 punch controls. After consultation with world champion boxers and improvement to our punch mechanics, we now have more than 60 individual punches. We've put significant effort into additional capture to help get us there, and this will continue to be an area of focus of development. Power punches are now available for every single punch type. Power jabs, straights, hooks, and uppercuts. It's all there. Want to throw that power jab to slow an advancing opponent? Now you can. Maybe you'd like to set up a trap to land that big right hand to end the fight. It's up to you when to put a little something extra on your punches. Just make sure you don't get carried away so you still have some energy in those championship rounds. We've talked a lot about the process of scanning fighters and how that helps us create lifelike visuals. And that's true, but we don't only rely on scans. Our team has worked out the finer details when it comes to visual fidelity. You can see individual muscles flexing when punches are thrown. There's real-time body and facial deformation when impactful punches land. We believe these are difference makers when it comes to creating an immersive boxing experience, and it's important to us to take the time to touch on these areas.
Now, I know the biggest question that people always address when it comes to ESBC, minus when the release date will be, is the punching animations. And the one thing I love about Steel City Interactive is that they always address the concerns from their audience, and they showcase some updated punching animations. As you see on your screen here, this matchup between Frosh and Plant, you see that the punching animations have zip on them, man. They have much improved zip on the punches. Before, what I would always say, that they really have to increase that level of impact that you see and feel in this game, and I really feel like they've improved on that. I love the sound effects when you do hit your opponent flush on the face. It is at a better state, in my opinion, when it comes to the punching. Now, the one thing, though, that I'm noticing, I still feel like there is a little bit room for improvement. As you see Gotti right here throwing punches, I feel like they need to use a little more hip action in some of their punches here that you see. Let me know if you believe in the same thing that I'm seeing right here. I feel like there has to be a little bit more torque on the hips when they're throwing punches. But it's a tremendous improvement that we are seeing here compared to the previous videos. And you really get to see just how much improved these punches are when it comes to this animation with Wilder right here. And they did address your ability to throw power punches, you know, power jabs, power uppercuts, you name it. You have that variety to throw a different type of punch that suits your type of boxing style or suits your particular situation. But as a whole here, seeing this example or this beautiful shadow boxing example from Wilder, you see that there's zip on the punches. See, in this scenario, he is using his hips. This looks fantastic, man. Look at that. The zip on those shots to the body, those hooks to the body. So as a whole, man, I'm feeling very optimistic about this game in terms of the gameplay. It looks pretty amazing already. But let me know your thoughts. Man, this is totally unexpected. I just want to let you guys know on a side note, I booted it quick home from work trying to get this video done, and I'm so glad I was able to make this video for you guys. And the best part about making this video is reading the comments after, hearing your thoughts, or shall I say reading your thoughts and responding. And I want to say too, on another note, I love how Tyson Fury looks, man. This is like, both Wilder and Fury look amazing, but as far as Fury, he has such a unique movement style, and I feel like they've already nailed it, man. The way he kind of lumbers around with those long legs, man, it looks fantastic. And man, this was a big treat for me to see this today. But anyways, guys, I'll stop rambling. Let me know your thoughts on the gameplay, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day, man. This is Ricky J. All the best. I'm out of here. Peace.